Alrighty, yogis. Thanks for being here. I'm very honored that you're here to join me for yoga today and saving our knees. Saving our knees means working our muscles around our knees, which is what we're going to be doing today quite a bit. So you're not going to reverse whatever damage is in your knees now, but you can alleviate the pain that's caused by whatever damage is in your knees right now. And I know that as a fact because I've done that myself, and also in my back. So muscles do protect your joints. And when you build muscle appropriate ways, you will get less pain in those joints. So that's what we're hoping to do. So starting off with our pranayama, sit up nice and tall. And let's do our Dirga breath, which is the deep breathing through our nose. Inhaling and exhaling, big, big, long, deep breaths. And as you're doing this, think about inflating your lungs to the back of your lungs. So when you inhale, think about growing wings on your, like expanding wings on your back. And then you'll feel what I'm talking about, inflating the backs of your lungs. If you just envision the wings folding out, you'll feel it and it'll happen. We don't really think about the backs of our lungs very much. When we visualize breathing, we think about chest breathing, but you're breathing through the back too. Tune your mind inward for the next hour. Pay full attention to what your body's telling you. Do what feels good, leave what doesn't. Know the difference between effort and pain. And now let's take a couple of Ujjayi breaths because we'll be using those today when we hold some of our poses. Ujjayi breath, that's the breath that sounds like a Darth Vader breath, where you take your tongue rested on the top of your mouth, you close off your glottis, and then you just breathe and you hear your breath in your brain. And it sounds like inside of a seashell, it sounds like a gentle snore, or it sounds like Darth Vader, whatever your interpretation is. But the purpose of this Ujjayi breath, and Ujjayi means victory, is so that you can hear your breath and you can concentrate on your breath. And the concentration on your breath takes away your concentration on the agony of holding some of these poses. So it's a good thing to have, good tool to have handy. A couple more Ujjayi breaths. These are big and long also, big, big, long. Okay, please bring your breath back to normal. And I will Om in. Please join me if you would like. Om Balu Sakaru Bhagavan Ki, the divine is the inner teacher. Thank you again for being here. So I just want to show you what we're talking about when we're strengthening the muscles around our knees. Let me scoot back so I think you can see me a little better. So come sit in Dandasana for a moment, staff pose, with your feet extended in front of you. And just let your legs go limp right now. Just let them just hang there without any effort at all. And then take your hands, your fingers on your kneecaps, your patella, and put a thumb on one side and your pointer on the other side, and just feel how they wiggle around, go back and forth, they wiggle around. There's a lot of room for movement in those kneecaps, which is designed for that. So don't feel like you're have anything wrong with you by having your knees move around. Now, flex your toes, flex the muscles in your ankles and lift as if you were going to lift your thighs up. You're going to flex your thighs as if you're trying to lift them toward the ceiling. Now, keep your feet very, very flexed. Keep lifting your legs up, but you're not really lifting them up, but you're thinking about lifting them up. Now, take your hands on your kneecaps and see how steady they are. They don't move now. And that's why, because your muscles are helping protect them. And that's what we're working on. That's the whole point of saving our knees, is to build all the muscles in our legs to help our knees. Now, in order to have muscles in your legs, you have to have loose hips. So we're going to start by opening our hips, going back into our easy pose, Sukhasana, which is just a cross-legged pose. And this is a gentle opening of the hips. Just sitting like this is a gentle opening of the hips. If you have tight hips, they really restricts your development of the muscles in your calves, and it goes directly to help making your knee very unstable. So from a Sukhasana position, tilt your pelvis forward so that you have a lower lumbar curve. Shoulders down from your ears, chest forward. And then lean forward. Take your hands either on a block in front of you or on the mat in front of you, and just bring your chest forward just so that you can feel a little bit more opening in the hips here. You don't have to come far. What you want to avoid doing is hanging your head. You want to avoid hunching your shoulders, and you want to avoid collapsing your lower back. So only come as far as your body allows for you to keep a nice straight spine, and the crown of your head is going right down to your tailbone. There's a nice long line, and your head stays in line with your spine. And as you just breathe here, some really long breaths, relax as you bend forward. And maybe every exhalation, maybe you can come down a little deeper. Only go as far as your body allows. This is just a gentle opening right now. Now, if you have really flexible hips, which I don't, some people can put their heads all the way down on the mat. So come back up to vertical, assuming that you've come forward at all, and then switch the cross of your legs. And this is probably your worst side, your non-habitual side, so it might be a little stiffer on this side. Another thing, if your knees bother you just even sitting like this, you can put blocks underneath of your knees to help support them if they don't like hanging out in midair like this. All right, reestablish your long spine, curve in your lower back, shoulders down, chest forward, and then we'll bring our hands in front, either on blocks or on the mat, and very slowly walk our hands forward. Keep the back nice and long. Don't allow your shoulders to crunch. Don't allow your back to round. And don't allow your head to hang. And then breathe. One more breath. And slowly come back up to vertical. And return to your staff pose, Dandasana. Now, if you're sitting on a bolster and your knees are hyperlocking, you should put a towel underneath your knees. What I mean about extending hyperlocking is you want your legs to be straight, but you don't want your tibia to come over above your thigh bone. So if that's the case, if you're locking your knees out, just take a nice rolled up towel or something and just put it underneath your knees just to help support them in the staff pose. And then return to your vertical spine, tilting your pelvis forward, arching the lower back, shoulders down from the ears, chest forward, feet flexed. So now you do want to engage your muscles in your legs now. Keep your feet flexed at all times. Think about lifting your legs off the mat. We're not going to do that right now. We will in a moment, but just think about lifting your legs off the mat as you sit in this staff pose. Make sure that your spine is vertical. You're in L shape between your legs and your torso. Couple of breaths here. Don't forget your chest is forward, your head is right on top of the shoulders. Keeping your muscles engaged in your legs, take your right leg, take your hands behind the right thigh, keep the leg straight, and you're going to lift that leg off the mat. And then maybe you can let go for a couple of breaths with your leg lifted. You can really feel the muscles engage all the way down the IT band here. Breathe. And then slowly lower down. So that IT band, it starts from way up here on the outside of your leg and goes all the way down to your knee, to below your knee. So that's what I feel being engaged. I hope you feel that too. Return to Dandasana, hands underneath the left leg, and then lift that up. Try not to lean back as you do this. Try to keep your torso vertical, keep both feet flexed, really engage those muscles, and then let go and breathe. You're feeling your quadriceps, you're feeling the hip flexors, the IT band, and even your calf. Keep your foot flexed so your calf muscles get worked here too. And then foot comes down. Okay. Bend your knees and towards your chest and hug your knees, wrapping your arms around your knees, and then bring your forehead towards your knees and tuck your tailbone underneath like you're rolled up into a little ball. And as you do this, feel your spine flex backwards, opening each vertebra. Feel your shoulder blades separate on your back. And then release. Return to Dandasana, staff pose with your legs extended. And I'm going to give you a couple of choices here. This is choice number one. Choice number one is you're just going to lean back and open your chest up to the ceiling, keep your bottom down. Choice number two is to bend your knees, push into your feet and lift your bottom off the mat and open your chest to the ceiling. And choice number three is to keep your legs extended, point your toes, then lean back and lift your bottom off the mat. This is the most challenging one. See if you can even touch your toes down to the floor and breathe. Whichever one you use, you should be opening the chest upward and breathing. Keeping the head in line with the spine. Don't let your head drop. Good. And then very slowly come back down. Come back upright. Slowly rebend the knees. And once again, we're going to do the Pavamuktasana, hugging our knees into the chest, putting your forehead down, tucking your chin, curling your tailbone under, flexing the spine. And slowly release. One more time. Come forward with your legs and take your version of Purvottanasana, which is the upward facing table. So either with feet like this, or just hands and chest up, or the full shebang is where you lift your hips, keep your body. This is like a reverse plank, or it is a reverse plank. Head in line with the rest of the body. Push your chest up, breathe. One more breath, and come all the way back down. Reestablish your Dandasana, your staff pose, and then bend the right knee into your chest. Keep the left leg flexed, the foot actively engaging your quadriceps and your calf muscles. Inhale your left arm forward, grab your right knee, right arm forward, and then twist to the right. So your right hand lands on the mat behind you. Every time you exhale, get a little deeper in the twist. Keep your left foot flexed so those muscles are working for you and not just hanging out. Couple more deep breaths here. Inhale, exhale back to center. Okay, walk the foot out a little bit to the right. Walk your left foot out slightly to the left. Left leg is still straight, right knee is still bent. Turn your torso so that your arm comes onto the inside of your right leg, and then plant one hand on either side of your left leg. And reestablish your lumbar curve here. You want to think about sticking your tailbone out behind you so that you have a neutral lumbar and you're not allowing your lower back to collapse. And with your one hand on either side of the leg, just gently bring your chest forward. Now, this is a big hip opener. Like I said, you have to have loose hips in order to have your quadriceps and hamstrings all work together. They all work together. So don't have to come very far. Just keep your head in line with the spine and just gently bring your chest towards your knee. One more breath. And slowly back to center. Walk the foot back. Straighten your right leg. Back to Dandasana. Reestablish your spine. And now bend the left knee in. Take the right arm, hugging the left knee into the chest. Inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, twist. Plant the hand behind you as you twist. The left hand is keeping your spine vertical. Your right arm is leveraged to help the twist. Make sure your right foot stays flexed and your leg is active. One more breath here. Exhale slowly back to center. And now walk your left foot out. The right leg goes out a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. Torso turns to the right. The left arm is inside of the left leg. Plant your hands on the either side of your thigh and keeping a nice long spine. Just allow your chest to move down toward your leg here. And just do a couple of really deep breaths. One more breath in. And exhale as you slowly come to center. Bring both knees back into your chest. And one more time, hug both knees. Bring your forehead to your knees. And hop off of your bolster if you're sitting on a bolster or a blanket. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Another big hip opener here. So lean back on your hands and take your right ankle on top of your left thigh. So if your fingers can point toward your feet, point them toward your feet. If that doesn't work for your shoulders, you can point them out or backwards, but see if you can keep them pointed toward your feet. And then pick up your bottom and walk toward your leg that's on the mat. So you may not come this far, but however far you come, just keep on going until you can't come any farther. And keep the foot flexed. It's important to keep your foot flexed because that's what's going to protect the knee. Save your knee. Flexing the foot engages the calf muscles, which help protect the knee. And then just breathe here. Open the chest, breathe. Think about pushing your right knee away from you. Okay, slowly back off. Bring the foot back to the mat. Keep both knees bent. Take your hands now behind your thighs. pull your thighs toward you as you lengthen your spine, bring your chest forward and the crown of your head up. So in this action here, you should feel the tilt of your pelvis now. You should feel the lower back start to arch in its normal lumbar shape. Your crown of your head is growing up toward the ceiling. Your shoulders are down from your ears. Nice long spine. You're feeling like your spine is lengthening here. Keep hold of your thighs as you rock back and then lift your legs so that the calves are parallel to the ground. And then breathe. Try not to let your lower back collapse when you do this. Keep your shoulders relaxed, keep your neck relaxed. Bring your belly muscles in and breathe. This is called Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. Okay, bring the feet back down. Hug knees into the chest. Okay, back to where your hands are behind you. This time, left ankle on right thigh. Keep the foot flexed. And pick up your bottom or pick up your foot, either way. I like to go this way because it's a little bit more intense. Go as far as you can and then stop. Keep the foot flexed. Keep pushing your left thigh away from you. So this is like a pigeon pose, a seated pigeon pose. And breathe. Don't forget to keep your neck relaxed as you're here. Back off, unwind your legs, feet flat on the mat again in front of you. Take hold behind your thighs, lift your chest forward, crown of your head up, shoulders down. Feel like you're lengthening your spine here. Tilt your pelvis forward so you have a neutral lumbar, and then lean back to your center of gravity and lift your calves again. And don't forget to breathe here as we hold this for a few breaths. This is where Ujjayi breath comes in real handy. Just think about your Ujjayi breath. If you want to let go, you can let go too. Big, deep breaths. And bring your feet down to the mat. Hug your knees in, curl your spine, and release it. So you probably felt a lot of that, not only in your abdominal muscles, but in your hip flexors here, which is normal. But the stronger your abdominal muscles is, the less these hip flexors will have to work to hold that pose. But you want to keep your hip flexors happy, because this is what controls everything else that's going down here and ultimately protecting your knees. Okay, let's come all the way down on our backs. Start by extending both legs in long on the mat. Bend your right knee into your chest and take your fingers, lace your fingers, and place them on your shin. And just bring that knee into your chest. And relax here, just squeezing the knee into your torso. Okay, here comes the abdominal part. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, you're going to lift your head and your shoulders, bring your nose to your knee, and lift your left leg off the mat about 6 inches. And if this works for you, let go of your knee and then just hold this pose for a couple of breaths. Ujjayi breaths. Your lower back should be pushed well into the mat now. And then very slowly roll your spine back down. Extend your right leg long on the mat. Bring your left knee up towards your chest. Lace the fingers, grab around the shin, and just keeping your head relaxed for a moment, just bring your knee in towards your chest and just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, lift your head, shoulders, tuck your chin, curl your spine up, push your lower back into the mat as you do this. And then lift your right leg about 6 to 8 inches off the mat. And then if you're able to let go and breathe. Now, sometimes I even like to take my fingers and just place them behind my head, not to pull your head up. You don't want to pull your head up, but just use it as a little bit of a ledge so that you're not overusing the muscles in your neck to keep your head up. It's very, very light. And then release, slowly lower down, lengthen both legs, bring your arms overhead, palms facing up, full body stretch, inhale, and then exhale, bring both knees into your chest, hug both knees in, roll around on your spine to release your back. And then roll on to one side and come to our table. So with a flat back table, inhale, exhale, push up into your cat back, curling your spine upward, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, pushing the mat away. And then very slowly through your nose, make it last. Inhale as you drop your belly down, bring your shoulders down from your ears, crown of the head forward, tailbone back into your cow pose. And then exhale very slowly through your nose, making it last. Bring your hips all the way down toward your heels. And then very slowly inhale through your nose as you come back to table. Exhale once again, very slowly as you bring your bottom toward your heels, lubricating all of your joints. And then inhale slowly back to table. In your square table, kick your right knee out to the side, dog leg, rover. And then make hip circles. Bring your knee forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down. And then go the opposite direction. Okay. And then pause, extend your leg out to the side into your, so it's perpendicular to your body. Put weight into your left hand and then twist open to the right. And then the right hand comes down and carefully walk your foot forward as far as it'll go. And maybe bring the knee toward the shoulder. And then get a block, or maybe you can put your forearms down on your mat. We're going into our lizard pose here. So the option is to get a bolster, put your forearms down, or you can just put them down on the mat, or you can stay up on your hands, whatever suits you. This is a big hip stretcher too. So you want the knee close to the shoulder. And you want the foot to be either equal in line with your head or forward of your head. And breathe. Slowly push up to your hands, walk your foot back, come all the way back to table. And then let's cock our left hip out to the side, dog leg, and we'll make circles with our hips. Go one way a few times. And then go the opposite way a few times. And then pause, extend the leg and bring it down to the mat so it's perpendicular to your body. Put weight into your right hand, twist open to the left. And the left hand comes down and walk the foot forward now as far as you can go. And we'll come into lizard on this side, propping your forearms on a block, blanket, bolster, or the mat. Or staying up on your hands is an option too. You want to be comfortable. You want to feel the stretch, no pain, just effort. So you want your knees sort of near your shoulder and your head sort of in line with your foot sort of in line with your head or forward of your head. Slowly push up, walk the foot back. Come back to table. And walk your hands forward, about a hand distance apart, or hand length forward. And then bring your chest down and stick your bottom way up in the air. So your chest is down toward your thighs and your bottom's way up in the air. Squeeze your forearms toward each other and feel how your shoulders rotate outward from your body and how your shoulder blades come down, the points of your shoulder blades come down your back. Make sure your neck stays long and allow your head to just melt here. Your booty's way up in the air. This is a puppy pose. Spread all 10 fingers wide. Put weight equally in all 10 fingers. Make sure you're really pressing down in all the finger pads. Have a slight bend in your knuckles. The base of your fingers are also pressing down and the base of your palm is pressing down. Now from here, curl your toes and come up to downward facing dog, but just think about that same action with your upper body, squeezing the forearms toward each other, rolling the shoulders out as you do so. Bend the knees so your booty's way up in the air. The only difference here is your knees are off the mat. And then very slowly bend your knees to walk up to your hands. And then slowly rise up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And then pause. So I just want you to observe for one moment what this looks like. So the habit is when you come into your dog or your puppy pose is your elbows slightly go out this way. So you're like this. And when you're like this, you see how this part of my back hunches up and my back is rounding? That's what happens when you stick your elbows out. So when I say roll your forearms toward each other, this is what you want to do. You want to roll these arms forward, feel the shoulders roll out and see the difference in my back from this to this. Can you see from this to this? I hope you can see that. So that's the action of the puppy pose and the downward facing dog pose. All right, so now that we're up here, come back to Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come into your chair pose. So chair pose, make sure your feet are, your weight is equally planted among all four corners of your feet. You should be able to lift your front toes and then put them back down. And if you look down, you should be able to see your tippy toes. Your tailbone's down. Your thighs are parallel to each other. Now, if this bothers you, we're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. If your arms and shoulders bother you, if you have issues here, you can bring your hands down, but keep the strength in your legs. Feel like you're squeezing a pretend ball between your thighs. Tailbone down so you don't overarch your lower back. Really bring your belly button to your spine. And then Ujjayi breath comes in real handy here. Keep your neck relaxed, long spine. Spread your toes if you can. Really push weight into four corners of your feet. A couple more breaths here. This is what's going to really help build your leg muscles. And then inhale up. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come back into chair. Couple more breaths here. Now take your left hand on the outside of your right thigh and then swing your right arm behind you. Keep sitting in that chair, deep in that chair. Reach your right arm as far behind you as you can and breathe. Keep sitting deep in that chair. And then swing both arms back forward into your forward chair. And then very slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Inhale up. Exhale into chair. Couple of breaths here. And now take your right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Swing your left arm behind you. Reach as far back as you can. Sit deep into the chair and breathe. Take one more breath and then come forward, back to your normal chair. Inhale up. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Okay, so one more version. Inhale up. Exhale, chair. Couple of breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, bring your palms together in front and then bring your palms to your chest. Inhale here. Exhale, twist your body to the right. Now, maybe you can sit deep enough so that you can hook your left elbow to the outside of your right leg. Keep pushing your hands together. Keep the twist. Every time you exhale, get a little more into the twist. You have to sit pretty deep in your chair to get this. One breath in. Exhale, slowly come back to center chair and then slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Inhale up. Exhale, chair. Get really deep into your chair. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Put your hands to your chest. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. And maybe you can hook your right elbow outside the left leg. Push the palms together. Keep twisting, keep twisting, keep twisting. Seat really deeply into your seat. Come forward slowly, inhale, and then come all the way up. This time we're going to go up onto our tippy toes. As we reach up for the sky, breathe, find your focal point. So you can hold your tippy toes, really helping your calf muscles strengthen here. Breathe. Breathe. One more breath. And then come all the way down. Back to Tadasana. Pause for a couple of breaths in Tadasana. Make sure your spine's in alignment. Head over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips, hips over the ankles, feet parallel to each other. belly in, chest forward. Shoulders down from the ears. Okay, for a one-legged balance, we're going to do, since we've been doing so many chair poses, we may as well continue on. We're going to do a one-legged chair balance, which is also like a standing pigeon pose. So I shall demonstrate for you so you know where you're going. You're going to sit in your chair, take one ankle and place it on top of the other thigh. So this is like a three-legged chair. So this is where you start. And maybe this is all you do, which is fine. But I know, Heather, this is one of your favorite things to do, is take the arm of the standing leg, put it on top of the foot, and then reach open with the opposite arm so that you're twisting your body in this twisting chair pose. So you're pushing your hands away from each other, and that helps you balance. I think you remember this, Heather. So at your own pace, choose what leg you want and how you want to do it. It's called, this is Eka Pada Parivrtta Utkatasana. Eka Pada Parivrtta Utkatasana. Eka Pada means one-legged, Parivrtta means twist, Utkatasana means chair. So take your time, find a focal point, go at your own pace. I'll give you a few moments and then we'll switch sides. Good, 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 good. That's great. Gosh, good balance. All right, good, Lisa, that's great. Okay, switch sides at your own pace. Now, the only thing, Louisa, maybe you're doing this on purpose or not, but when you're sitting in this and you've got this arm outside like this, which is okay. But if you want more leverage, you take this arm on the top of that foot and just push your arm into the foot as you swing your other arm back. And the stretching of your arms wide helps you balance. Yeah, try that. Good. Good. Oh no, opposite way, Louisa. So you want that arm, yes, and then switch that way. Yeah, good, good, good. So the pressure of your arm on the foot and opening your arms against each other helps the balance. I think you have it, Heather. Looks good. All right, beautiful. Whenever you've had enough fun, let's get out of that. Phil, and that was a good job too, Phil. Okay, back to the tops of the mat. Back to Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold all the way down to the mat. Step your right foot back, plant your right heel, and then slowly rise up to warrior one. So warrior one, your front knee is bent. The back foot is at an angle toward the front. Your back hip is trying to come forward, but it won't come all the way. Your femur is going back into this hip socket. Chest is forward, arms up, palms facing each other. If you want to look up, look up. Now, all the while, think about stabilizing that front knee over the ankle. Don't let it fall in like this. Make sure it stays above the ankle. Also, don't let it come forward of the ankles. It can be above or behind, just not forward. Equal weight in both feet. Push your tailbone down towards your back heel to reduce the pinch in your lower back. And then breathe, Ujjayi breath. We'll be holding this for a few breaths. So concentrate on your Ujjayi breath. If your shoulders or arms get tired, go ahead and bring them down to your hips if you like, but keep your lower body working, or else if you want to still do your upper arms, your arms also, that's good. A couple more breaths, make sure that knee is stable, weight in both feet. 3 more breaths. Okay, release the hands and then step up, shake it all out. So that was about 45 seconds, give or take. And you know what's coming next. We have to do the other side. Inhale up, exhale, bend the knees, forward fold all the way down. Step your left foot back, plant your left heel, and then come up to warrior 2. So once again, your back foot is at an angle. Your feet are hip width distance apart. Your left hip is coming forward. Your right femur is going back into the hip socket. Tailbone down, chest open, palms facing each other. And breathe. Maybe lift your toes and then put them back down and make sure the weight is distributed equally. And breathe. Couple more breaths. Put weight in the back foot, outside edge of the back foot. Okay, release your arms, step up, shake it all out. So that was about 45 seconds there too. You want to build this so that you can hold it to maybe 2 minutes. That would be a great goal, to be able to hold that for 2 minutes. Okay, back to Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, chair pose. One more time so we don't forget it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Tailbone down. Weight in both feet. One more breath. And bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. And do all the things we talked about. Spread the fingers wide. Pressure in all 10 fingers. Bend the knuckles slightly so you push pressure into your fingers. Palm of your hand is firm on the mat. The base of your fingers are firm on the mat. Forearms squeeze toward each other so you can feel your shoulders roll out. Tailbone way in the air. Keep your knees bent to keep your tailbone way high. And then bring your knees down and come all the way down onto your bellies and grab, well, you may not need a belt, but Phil, you'll need your belt, Phil. And put a loop in it, like this. And here's where we're going. So we're gonna lie on our bellies, and then Phil, you're gonna take this loop and put it on your foot, and then tighten it so that it doesn't slip anywhere. And then just lie down on your belly with the belt handy over your shoulder. And then, so I'm starting with my right leg. So you're gonna rest your hand on your arm, and then the rest of you who are not using a belt, you're gonna grab your foot and bring it in toward your bottom. Okay, so the belt is there, so it's an extension of your arm. So if you grab the belt, bring the foot in toward your bottom, and you want to shoot for the outside of your hip so that you feel a slight inward rotation of the thigh. And push your pelvis down into the mat and keep your hips onto the mat. So this is stretching the psoas area. Psoas is a very important muscle that connects the top half of your body to the bottom half. Slowly release. We'll switch legs and switch belts. taking your time. Get the loop small enough so it doesn't slip around on the foot. And then bend the knee, put the belt on the foot, bring the belt towards your shoulder. Rest your head on your arm as you bring the opposite leg up, or grab the foot and bring that foot into your bottom. Again, thinking about bringing the heel toward your outer hip. So as you bring the foot toward your outer hip, your thigh is rotating slightly inward. So this psoas muscle, as you're relaxing here in the stretch, I'll tell you that it originates from between the L1 and T12 in your back, wraps around your sacrum and attaches to the greater trochanter, which is the bone on the outside of your femur, your thigh. So that's how it connects the two halves of your body, from your lumbar to your femur. Okay, release. Remove the belt. Push the table. Widen your knees. Bring your toes together behind you, and then sit back toward your heels into a wide-legged child pose. And come back as far as your bottom will come toward your heels. Rest your head either on your arms or a block or the mat. And the reason for the wide knees is you're having now an outward rotation of your thighs, which is opposite of what we just did. So this is a counter pose. It's very subtle, but your thighs are rotating outward here. Bring your feet together behind you. Okay, please push up. Swing your legs around. Come onto your backs. Grab a block. Or a pillow. I don't know, Stephen, if you have a block handy for you. Or you can put your legs up a wall instead. So we're going to do sacrum on the block, where you plant your feet, lift your hips, put a block underneath your sacrum. You know, a book would work here, a big pillow would work here, or you can use a wall, and then just lift your feet up into a waterfall pose, making it feel effortless. And then take some of your deep whiskey breaths. Big, long inhalation through the nose, followed by even a longer exhalation. So anytime when you think about your deep breathing, anytime you inhale longer than your exhalation, it gives you a little bit of energy and alertness. If you exhale longer than your inhalation, it has a quieting effect, a calming effect. And then if you make them equal, it has a balancing effect on your brain. Makes you feel focused and balanced. Couple more breaths here. One more deep breath. And when you finish with that breath, bring your legs down. Lift your hips, remove the block, and allow your body to relax into your favorite Shavasana. And consider propping up your knees with a rolled blanket or a bolster. Just take the blanket, roll it up, and just let your knees, when you recline, just put it underneath your knees, because your legs did a lot of work today, and that sort of helps support the knees if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Do whatever feels good for your final relaxation pose. Focus on your breath. Slow down your breathing. As you relax your mind, I will share with you a poem by Mary Oliver, celebrated American poet, who, her poems are sometimes surprising, but they're all very visual. This is called Hum, H-U-M. What is this dark hum among the roses? The bees have gone simple, simping, that's all. What did you expect? Sophistication? They're small creatures, and they are filling their bodies with sweetness. How could they not moan in happiness? The little worker bee lives, I have read, about 3 weeks. Is that long? Long enough, I suppose, to understand that life is a blessing. I have found them, haven't you? Stopped in the very cups of the flowers, their wings like a little tattered, so much flying about to the hive, then out into the world, then back, and perhaps dancing, should the task be to be a scout. Tweet, dancing bee. I think there isn't anything in this world I don't admire. If there is, I don't know what it is. I haven't met it yet, nor expect to. The bee is small, and since I wear glasses so I can see the traffic and read books, I have to take them off and bend close to study and understand what is happening. It's not hard. It's in fact as instructive as anything I have ever studied. Plus, too, it's love almost too fierce to endure, the bee nuzzling like that into the blouse of the rose, and the fragrance, and the honey, and of course the sun, the purely pure sun shining all the while over all of us. Enjoy a few more moments of inner bliss and solitude. Please bring your awareness back to your breath and deepen your breathing as you very slowly and gently wake up your body, making small movements. And please very slowly bring your knees toward your chest and roll onto your right side in a fetal position to seal the practice. And in doing so, you're sealing off the hot, fiery, masculine side of your body, bright, and you're exposing the cool, feminine side of your body, dark and calm. And that calmness will carry you for the rest of your day. Please very slowly, keeping a quiet mind, push up to seated. And I will do the closing chant. If you care to join me, please do. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to the Cat Rock Yoga class and to the inner teacher. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Knuckles to my forehead honors God. Knuckles to my chin honors you. Knuckles to my heart honors myself. Namaste. And Jai Yogis, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you.